Hello, hello. We meet again. Okay. So, hello, hello. Yeah. So let me get started. So good to see you, my friend. And so today I am going to be talking about human rights abuses and share a little bit about myself with you all. So I am, I'm just going to say Jay for the moment. I am a domestic violence survivor, and I am a victim of MAGA style abuses. I'm here to share my experience and perspective on what's happening in the USA and to slowly but surely open up about what my family has been going through. We have a racist administration that echoes of the Nazis. It's a chilling situation. The worst part is that with the book bans and the fascistic way of teaching, the youth and the Gen Zers were not taught properly about history, women's rights, and civil rights, and how far we had come as a nation, and how people fought and gave their lives so that you and I could live a more comfortable and better life. So with that, we will talk about human rights violations that are recognized internationally, and I had a couple that I added on here that I noticed were not on the list. Many of these abuses are applicable in my situation as well. And it's time to start speaking about this. A lot of domestic abuse survivors, we suffer in silence, and we continue to get attacked by doing so. And I know that there's a lot of intimidation going on out there, but in reality, it doesn't matter who's occupying our White House. It matters that, we all, as Americans, come to an understanding. And first of all, everyone's situation is different. Everybody's family makeup is different. We are a nation of immigrants. We always have been. And it's important to highlight that, I think, because, again, a lot of our youth, they haven't been taught that way. And that was done purposely. So, with that, I'm going to list off some human rights violations and examples of those. A couple that I added on here that were not listed. One would be like character assassination, so destroying someone's reputation for the purpose of exploitation or some type of control. There's a lot of that going on with MAGA, and the privacy bubble has been burst. So there's a lot of that going on. And yes, I am a victim to that as well. Leaving someone in a financial hardship so that they're desperate or their back is against the wall and then exploiting them. Yes, I am going through that right now as well. Entrapment, I'm also going through that right now. And entrapment, there's different meanings of entrapment. So let me see if I can give you an example of that. Uh-oh, can you not hear me? Hold on one second. All right, I'm going to look up these examples. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Oh, can't hear me? Hey, can you hear me? Yes. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh, you can't see me? Uh-oh. I'm having all kinds of complications. Can't see me. Okay. Okay. Audio's good, but the picture is not good? Okay. Okay, good, good. I'm glad to hear that. It's been quite an ordeal trying to get all this up and running. Woo! Okay. Anyway, well, I'm glad. So, okay, so let me go on with examples of entrapment. Funny. Okay, so examples of entrapment. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so here's some examples of entrapment. It says here, okay. Okay, so entrapment occurs when law enforcement or their agents induce someone to commit a crime they weren't already predisposed to commit. It's not entrapment if the officer merely provides an opportunity to commit a crime. The inducement must be the reason the crime occurred. Examples include an informant repeatedly pressuring someone to sell drugs after they've refused, or an undercover officer exploiting someone's financial vulnerability to commit a crime. Okay, so yeah. And then, oh, that's funny. So other examples of an are coercion and threats. An undercover officer threatens a person with harm or arrest if they don't commit a crime, like selling drugs. Manipulation and false promises. An officer lies about needing drugs for a sick relative or falsely promises leniency to encourage someone to commit a crime. Exploitation or vulnerability. An undercover officer takes advantage of someone's substance abuse problem or financial desperation to induce them to sell drugs. Relentless pestering. An informant pesters an individual to commit a crime despite their repeated results, eventually wearing them down. Okay, so yeah, that's one example of entrapment. But I think also, some of the things that have been going on toward me also constitute as entrapment, like with the post office, holding my documents, and like some of the things that happened when I had to leave town. Yeah, those types of things too, which I can start to open up about, yes, as we go. But for now, we'll just kind of, work on the human rights abuses and kind of keep it light for today. And I will, like I said, slowly but surely start opening up about these things, the criminal activity that's happening. So anyway, so international human rights violations encompass, absolutely, thank you. International human rights violations encompass a wide range of abuses that contravene universally recognized human rights principles, often occurring during armed conflict or in the context of authoritarian regimes, which we're now seeing in the U.S. These violations include, but are not limited to, genocide, ethnic cleansing, torture, forced disappearances, arbitrary detention, and restrictions on freedom of expression and assembly. So we're seeing a lot of that going on in the U.S. right now. Yes, I will tell it like it is. It's important to inform people, but also to, talk about and educate, and have these discussions for sure. Thank you. Transnational repression, where states target individuals beyond their borders, also constitutes a violation of human rights. So, and here's some examples of these human rights violations. So, genocide and ethnic cleansing, it's the deliberate killing of a large group of people, especially those of a particular ethnic group or nation, with the intent to destroy them. Torture and cruel treatment is the infliction of severe pain or suffering, whether physical or mental, by or with the consent of a public official. So we're seeing some of those things happening now in our country. Arbitrary detention and unfair trials, imprisonment without due process of law. Yep. They do. They break the Constitution constantly. So imprisonment without due process of law or a fair trial, often targeting specific groups or individuals. And yes, unfortunately, I have been privy to see things with my eyes that I cannot unsee. So that's pretty sad, restrictions on freedom of expression, suppression of speech. We're definitely seeing press, attacks on the press, and assembly. Unfortunately, we're seeing all of that. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Here, so this is something that, I'm going through as well. So, okay, let me repeat this one more time because I'm getting kind of excited here. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So restrictions on freedom of expression. This is huge because it's our constitutional right in this country to have freedom of speech, which is purposely just being trampled on. But suppression of speech, press, and assembly, often through censorship, surveillance, and intimidation. Now tell me I'm not going through that right now with all the stalking. Yeah. So that's really something, isn't it? Here is one: use of child soldiers, forcing children under the age of 18 into armed conflict. I'm not so sure we're seeing that here right now, but it's definitely happening in other countries. Yes, we are going to keep it up. We have to keep it up. Our country is a place that we love, and it's our home. And we have to be brave and speak about these things. Okay, another one would be sexual violence. So rape and other forms of sexual violence used as a weapon of war. Excuse me, that's my alarm. Rape and other forms of sexual violence used as a weapon of war or a tool of oppression. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to get it back. We're going to get it back. But we have to keep it up. We have to let people know that we don't stand for this. And it's not a right or a left issue. It's an American issue. So I think at this time, it's really important for people to try to come together and decide, is this really what we want for our country? So yeah, unfortunately, and I will probably never understand this, but there are some people who do want this. But we're going to focus on people who are questioning this or who absolutely don't want it. And again, it's really, to me, it's not a right or a left issue. So it's about providing the future for our children and for generations to come and what we want that to look like. So, and this is a nation of, nope, we don't want it. No, we don't want it. There's a lot of us who do not want it, and I think there's more of us than there are them. So, yeah. So, with the transnational repression that's targeting individuals across borders through surveillance, harassment, and even kidnapping. Now, that could very well be going on. I don't know any examples of that right now, but it could be happening, you know. So we'll have to keep an eye out on things like that. No more of this mess. This has to stop. So, and denial of humanitarian aid, refusal to allow access to humanitarian assistance in conflict zones, which can lead to starvation and death. So we know exactly where that's happening right now. So I don't even have to say anything because we know that that's happening in another country right now. So, and it's not a good thing. Sometimes humanity is what we need to be looking at. You know, I don't think any human being on this earth deserves to suffer in the way that we are seeing them suffer right now, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, I mean, forced starvation is yeah, it's bad. And so anyway, I have a feeling this is going to cut off in just a minute because last night it cut off at 20 minutes. So I'm going to stop there for right now. And if it does cut off, I'm going to come right back on, I think, if I can, and then talk about the contexts where these violations occur. So I'm going to give it just a minute until it gets to 20 minutes. So, yeah. Yeah, nobody should have to go hungry. I mean, and these poor little kids and babies, it's just, you know, you have to kind of have a heart to put yourself in their family's positions. I mean, I know myself as a mother. Oh, it's still rolling. That's good. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I will keep going. I'm glad that it's still rolling, but if it does, yes, we're not going to let anyone starve if we can help it. We're going to help however we can. Contexts where these human rights violations occur. Armed conflict, never, never. Armed conflict would be one. Violations are often widespread and systematic during armed conflict, with combatants targeting civilians and engaging in atrocities. Authoritarian regimes, governments that restrict fundamental freedoms and repress dissent, often engage in human rights violations. So that's absolutely happening in the US right now. It is horrible. Specific groups, ethnic minorities, religious groups, LGBTQ+, individuals and other vulnerable populations are often targeted for discrimination and violence. Hello, that's happening to myself and my son as well right now. So we are in that minority structure of the targeting, and it's pretty awful to go through it. But I think coming together and, talking about this is a good way to channel the feelings that I have been hiding, I guess, and masking a little bit just to kind of get through it. It's been a little difficult, but I'm glad to be here talking about it. Other people to be able to feel comfortable talking about it too. Thank you. The international response to human rights abuses, we have international tribunals, bodies like the International Criminal Court investigate and prosecute individuals responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity. I would like to see that happening a little sooner than later, if possible. If you're listening, International Criminal Court, please. The UN, so the United Nations, the UN plays a crucial role in monitoring humanitarian assistance and advocating for accountability. I believe that we pulled out of the UN, if I'm not mistaken, early on when Trump came in. So I'm not really sure what is going on with that or where that stands, but I'm not surprised, Yes, we will. We will do more tomorrow. I'm almost finished with this, so I'll just finish up. Regional organizations. So here's a note of organizations like the European Court of Human Rights and the African Commission on Human and People's Rights work to protect human rights within their respective regions. So I guess we're not in that respective region, unfortunately. If I'm reading that correctly, but those are some organizations. So it's also civil society organizations. So here's some to look into as well. Groups like Human Rights Watch, so that's one we should be looking into. Amnesty International and others monitor, document, and advocate for human rights. And that is worldwide, actually. That's actually really important that we kind of get connected with those types of groups and make sure that we have an open line of communication with them during this really crazy time that we're going through in this country. Anyway, challenges would be impunity. So perpetrators of human rights violations often evade justice, particularly in countries where the rule of law is weak. And we're seeing that here now. So it's being challenged for sure. Yes, definitely. Sorry about that alarm. Yeah, we're going to talk about, I'm hoping tomorrow we can talk about like a simplified version of the Constitution, just a basic overview so that Americans are aware of their constitutional rights, and also the Bill of Rights. And I'm going to try to keep it kind of simple so it's not too boring. But it's probably a good idea for every American to be aware of their rights. So because a lot of people like to kind of keep that information away from you, so that way they can continue to abuse or exploit you. Yes, we have to let people talk about what's going on. Absolutely. And I'm here to kind of help inform, learn with you all, and also share my story. So we are not falling for it. We are sticking together, and we are going to try our hardest to make sure that we can overcome this, so that, again, our kids and generations to come have a good, free future where they have their freedom, because that's really, yes, that's really important. And I know they want to control us. They're trying to do that through intimidation, and they're doing a lot of scary things. That's not, that's not questionable at all. But we have to be brave, and that's what Americans do. I'm a millennial, and, so I'm seeing kind of the switch over right now, and it's really something. I wouldn't say it's been easy at all, but I'm glad that, we can be here to work on this. So we are going to point out everything we see. One of the things that they do is they gaslight, right? I get gaslit all the time, and the American people get gaslit. And then they say that the road to fascism is lined with people telling you to stop overreacting. And that's true, that you're overreacting. But trust your gut, and it's good to be aware of what's going on. So anyway, technological advancements. So here's another thing to be aware of. Absolutely, we need to let people know. We need to let them know that we know. Technological advancements. So new technologies like spyware and facial recognition systems are being used to suppress dissent and violate privacy. So that's really interesting, because when I made that new Facebook page, right, and then they had me do where I had to turn my head to the side and up and down, whatever, to verify myself, and then they locked me out. Remember, that was yesterday. So that's interesting. And then I guess with this real ID stuff that they're doing and everything. So it's pretty oppressive what they're doing. It's definitely an abuse of power, for sure. So really quick, in conclusion, international human rights violations are a serious and persistent problem that require ongoing vigilance. It is a total setup. They require ongoing vigilance, advocacy, and international cooperation to address effectively. So we are here to cooperate internationally and talk about these issues and not be silenced. So, yep. So, and tomorrow I'll plan on doing the Constitution, simplified the Bill of Rights, and then I'll probably, do a little more sharing tomorrow as well about my own story, because it's been quite a challenge to go through what I have been through in my life, just baseline everything that's already happened, but then adding all this on top of it. Um, so yeah, so it'll be good to let all that start setting myself free and exposing some of these things. And I know it's getting late, so I'm really glad that we were able to do this. And we will do another session tomorrow. And I really appreciate everyone who is here and listening. And thank you for your engagement, my friend. And we will keep it up. And feel free to share the video and I guess like and subscribe. And we'll keep going. All right. Everybody have a good night. Stay safe. Lock your doors. Bye.